All right, how's it going, everybody? This is Robbie1 Kenobi, and this is my live review of WWE Money in the Bank 2016. Overall, guys, I thought that this show was all right. You know, the three main event matches really delivered, but the undercard matches, they weren't the worst, but I felt like some of them could have been better. You know, like I said in my predictions and preview video, this was really a three-match show. It was all about the three main events, the triple main event. But there was some good on this undercard. There was some not. There was some that wasn't good, and so forth. So overall, I thought the show was all right, but it had one hell of an ending, and I'll get to that. I'll get to that towards the end of this review, but you probably know what I'm talking about based on the title. But anyway, let's get right down to the review. So we kicked the show off with the Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way, the New Day defending against the Vaudevillains, Enzo and Big Cass, and Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson. Excuse me. Before the match, New Day cut a funny promo where they basically called Enzo and Cass a broke down Han Solo and hairless Chewbacca. They called the Vaudevillains the Monopoly Men and said they didn't know whether to fight him or collect or pass go and collect $200 from him. And they called I don't remember what they called Anderson and Gallows. I forgot if they said something. Oh, I think they called them the new Mr. Clean or something. I don't know. Something about their bald heads. But anyway, as far as the match goes, this was a good, fun opener. Early on, you had Enzo and Kofi executing not only a double team crossbody on the club, but they also hit a double drop kick on the Vaudevillains, and then they had a little standoff. Which I'm seeing as like a tease toward what may happen at SummerSlam. We may get the New Day versus Enzo and Cass for the Tag Team Championships. So if that does happen, I'm totally down for that. Later on in the match, Karl Anderson made a blind tag, and he was able to hit Simon Gotch. He and Gallows hit the Magic Killer on, I believe it was Simon Gotch, because I know it was one of the Vaudevillains. I don't remember, but I think it was Simon Gotch. If I was wrong, let me know in the comment section. So Anderson and Gallows hit the Magic Killer on Simon Gotch, but then Big E comes in and breaks up the pin by picking Anderson up by his waist and hoisting him up on his shoulder for the big ending. Now at this point in the match, this looked like it was miscommunication or it was a botch or something, because basically Big E has Anderson up on his shoulders, Gallows is on the outside, and Gallows is like, they're looking at each other, and you would think Gallows would come straight at Big E and try to stop him from, attacking his partner. But what happened was he and Big Cass had they hit the ropes. Big Cass hit a big boot that knocked both Gallows and himself over the top rope. Kofi got onto the top turnbuckle and hit the double big ending with Big E onto Karl Anderson, and then they actually pinned Simon Gotch to retain the tag team championships, because remember Gotch got laid out with the Magic Killer by Gallows and Anderson. So New Day retains their tag team championships like I predicted, because they're most likely going to hold on to the championships until around SummerSlam, once they break London and Kendrick's record for tag team championship reign. Other than that, I thought this was a good, fun opener. 2.25 stars. As always, my match ratings are down below in the description box. I do think this match could have been a little better, but it was good for what it was. Like I said, it was a good, fun opener. Crowd was into it, and New Day retains. So like I said, they're going to most likely break London and Kendrick's tag team championship reign record, and we'll see what happens, because I also, like I was saying earlier, we saw a little stare down, whatever you want to call it, between Enzo and Cass and the New Day, especially at this one point where Enzo and Cass and the New Day, like all 8 men were brawling, and then Enzo and Cass and the New Day clotheslined Gallows and Anderson and the Vaudevillains out of the ring, and then we had a stare down between Enzo and Cass and the New Day. So that could be where WWE is going for SummerSlam. That could be the direction, or it could be the club and the New Day continuing their feud. We'll see what happens, but good opener to kick off the show. Next, we had Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. Okay, I'm going to give these guys credit. They gave a good effort. I just was not into this match. I really was not into this match. I really didn't care for this match. What I cared about was whether Baron Corbin got the win. He got the win. He beat Dolph Ziggler with the End of Days. The only things that really stood out to me in this match were early on, Dolph Ziggler Irish whipped Baron Corbin into the corner. Baron hit a baseball slide underneath the bottom rope, came right around, got back into the ring, and nearly took Dolph's head off with a wicked clothesline. And then towards the end of the match, Ziggler tried to run up the steel stairs and stumbled, and Corbin managed to catch him and improvise a deep six on the outside. Towards the end of the match, Dolph also made a comeback. He hit a DDT. He hit a super kick. He went to the top rope. Corbin positioned him on the top rope, or knocked him off the top rope, knocked him off balance. Looked like he was going for a superplex. And I was concerned that if he did hit a superplex, that Dolph was gonna hook his leg and pin him 1, 2, 3 unexpectedly. So I'm happy that the superplex didn't go through. Dolph knocked Baron off the turnbuckle. Baron knocked Ziggler off the turnbuckle then, and hit him with the end of days to get the 1, 2, 3. So I'm praying to God this is the end of this feud. You know, Dolph Ziggler is a great worker, but he honestly needs to turn heel because he's pretty dead as a face. And I just don't care, unfortunately. WWE has not done anything to make me care about him anymore. So Baron Corbin, I hope, moves on to a better feud, a more meaningful feud, and hopefully Baron Corbin will win a mid-card title, or maybe he'll form an alliance with somebody and they'll win tag team championship. They'll win the tag team championships before the end of the year. But that match, guys, was what it was. Like I said, good effort from both guys, but really didn't care for the match. Baron Corbin got the win. That's all I really cared for. Next, we had the women's tag team match, Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch. This was a solid women's tag team match. I was expecting it to be a little better, but it was good for what it was. Early on, Natalya and Becky hit a heart attack on Charlotte, which was fitting because, of course, you know, Natty's father, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and uncle Bret the Hitman Hart used that move as a finisher when they teamed up as the Hart Foundation. So it was cool to see Natalya and Becky hit that. The heel women, the heel team, Charlotte and Dana, they used their usual tactics to neutralize Natalya from Becky. When Becky got the tag, she got the hot tag. She hit a double missile drop kick, and then she hit the Bexploder. I think on Charlotte. I could be wrong, but yeah, Becky hit a Bexploder. When Natty got tagged, Natty got Charlotte into the sharpshooter, but then Dana pulled Natty off by her hair. Becky then grabbed Dana by her hair, and Dana then threw Becky into Natalya. They collided face first. Dana got rid of Becky, and Charlotte took advantage and hit natural selection on Natalya to score the 1, 2, 3. And Charlotte and Dana Brooke won this match. I honestly thought they were going to lose because they were teasing dissension among Charlotte and Dana Brooke, especially following that miscommunication from Monday Night Raw last week. But it looks like miscommunication was the downfall for Natalya and Becky. After the match, Natalya was a little heartbroken, and as Becky was comforting her, Natalya blindsides her and just starts beating her down. So it looks like Natalya has turned heel, which I think is necessary. And it's ironic because I asked the Lex Man a question for his Suplex Q&A this past Friday, I believe he did it. I think he did it on Friday. And my question was, who does he think would benefit from a heel turn more, Charlotte or Becky Lynch? And one of his followers said that not Charlotte, Natalya or Becky Lynch. And one of the followers said that Natalya would probably benefit from it more because Becky is just more likable, if you know what I mean. So it looks like Natalya is heel. Looks like we'll be getting a Natalya versus Becky Lynch feud, which I'm all for as long as it's done right. Looking forward to seeing what Natalya does as a heel. And if you guys didn't hear that, Vegas crowd was chanting, "We want Sasha." So I don't know if we're gonna get like Charlotte versus Paige as another filler match at Battleground because Paige did pin Charlotte last Monday, but it has to happen. It's inevitable now at SummerSlam that we get Charlotte versus Sasha Banks for the Women's Championship. So it looks like we got a heel Natalya, and we're going to get a feud between her and Becky Lynch. Maybe at Battleground we get Charlotte versus Dana versus Becky versus Paige versus Natty in like a women's 5-pack challenge or whatever that match is called, maybe Championship Scramble. But yeah, like I said, Solid women's tag team match. Was mainly filler because of, you know, Sasha and Charlotte going to lock up hopefully at SummerSlam. And Natalya's heel. So let's see where her heel turn takes her. Next, we had Apollo Crews versus Sheamus. Now, I didn't mention this in the Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin match, but that match and Apollo versus Sheamus were supposed to be the kickoff match, and then they got bumped up to the main card, which I don't have a problem with. And instead, we got on the pre-show Lucha Dragons versus the Dudley Boys, and because we really wanted to see this, Golden Truth versus Breezango. And no, I did not bother to watch the pre-show because I did not bother to watch either of those matches. You know, the Lucha Dragons versus the Dudley Boys just was so random, and do not even get me started on this freaking Breezango Golden Truth feud. So anyway, Apollo Crews versus Sheamus. This was a good, solid match. This was better than the two other matches I just talked about. Early on, it started off like a fight. You know, Sheamus and Apollo were brawling a little bit, and I thought, hey, if they go down that route, that's interesting. That's a different route for a match like this. Apollo got an Irish Curse backbreaker off the apron from Sheamus. Sheamus hit an Irish Curse backbreaker off the ring apron. Apollo started to mount a comeback. Shortly after that, he hit a jumping clothesline, a crossbody, and an enziguri all in one sequence. After that, Apollo hit a wicked belly to belly over the top rope to the outside, and he got on the apron and followed it up with a moonsault off the apron, which is really cool. Towards the end, Sheamus hit white noise off the second rope, which looked pretty sick, and he only got a 2 count. And he started arguing with the referee, and Apollo Crews hooked his shoulders and rolled Sheamus up for the 1, 2, 3. And Apollo Crews got his first victory on pay-per-view. So I'm happy Apollo got the win. Good, solid match between these two. The crowd wasn't into it, but I thought the match was good. It was a little boring, but overall, it was a good, solid match. These guys are probably gonna have another rematch. Honestly, if that does happen, Apollo should win that, and then he should move on to maybe becoming a contender for the Intercontinental Championship or United States Championship based on wherever he is drafted, and whichever champion, be it The Miz or Rusev, joins him on that brand. But I'm happy for Apollo Crews. He had a good showing for his first pay-per-view match. That moonsault off the apron spot was sick, and I hope Apollo goes on to have bigger and better feuds and wins championship gold eventually in the future. And I hope WWE makes him WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He deserves to be a world champion. He's got the talent. I hope they give him that opportunity. Next, we had the dream match between John Cena and AJ Styles. This right here, guys, was an awesome match. This was the match of the night, hands down. This match delivered like I knew it was going to deliver. And it had a very unique, it told a very unique story. Early on, AJ Styles was showing his wrestling superiority over John Cena. He would, even if it was countering the simplest little move, like AJ, like I think it was Cena's trying to get AJ in a headlock and, you know, Irish whip him. AJ like slid and got back on his feet, dusted it off, like, hey, you know, you can't out wrestle me, man. So bring it, what you got. Like, I love the storytelling in this match. AJ Styles really trying to get under John Cena's skin and really just taking the fight to John Cena. Like AJ Styles was something John Cena has never faced before. This was a different breed of wrestler, so to speak, and it made for not only great storytelling but for a great match. You know, early on, Cena hit a shoulder tackle and he went for a second shoulder tackle, and AJ countered with a drop kick. Cena, later on, he hit 2 shoulder tackles, tried to go for the protoplex to lead into the 5-knuckle shuffle, and AJ countered that with an enziguri. So it seemed like early on, AJ was like a step ahead of John Cena, and Cena had to like really regroup because, like I said, he was facing a different breed of wrestler in AJ Styles. Cena went for an AA, but AJ rolled out of it and locked in the calf crusher. It was a sick transition. Like, Cena's got him up on his shoulders. AJ rolls through like a sunset flip and then gets him in the calf crusher. It was a sick spot. Prior to that, Cena had AJ in the STF. The only reason I stopped was because I was looking back at my notes. I think I missed one. Yes, I did take notes, guys. You can't see them, but I was looking to see if I missed. I think I missed a really sick spot before Cena hit this AA on AJ. AJ was working on the calf, so that's good continuity and storytelling. He was kicking the calf, trying to wear Cena down. Cena did hit an AA, but AJ kicked out. AJ then hit the Styles Clash. Cena kicked out. AJ countered another AA attempt with a Pele kick. Cena went for yet another AA. I think before this, AJ went for the phenomenal forearm. Cena countered. Cena got AJ up on his shoulders. AJ landed on his feet, went for the Pele kick again. Cena like slid out of the way. It was like a sick spot. Cena went for another AA, but what happened was because AJ had the ropes, Cena was trying to pull AJ, and AJ's feet knocked the ref down. And at that point, I sensed, yes, some screwy finish is about to happen, because Cena eventually did hit the AA, but the ref was down. Out came Gallows and Anderson, the club, and of course, if you guys remember, AJ signed a contract where the club would not get involved. They would not be outside at all for the match. They beat down Cena, laid him out with the Magic Killer, placed AJ on top of Cena, and I don't know if AJ was out. He was knocked out from the move. If he even knew where he was following AA, but they put AJ on top of Cena, and AJ Styles gets the 1-2-3 by hook or crook. AJ Styles beat John Cena in the dream match. It was a freaking awesome match. I had no problem with how it ended, because looking at it from a storyline perspective, I could see this leading to like a bigger rematch at SummerSlam. And what I'm thinking they can do is this time they can have it to where if the club gets involved, the club will be suspended indefinitely. I think at this point, it's a match where if they do it at SummerSlam, AJ has to really prove to himself that he can beat John Cena on his own without the club. And I'm thinking maybe they can do a 30-minute Iron Man match where it comes down to like that one fall where whoever wins is going to walk out the victor. It's like, who wants it more? I think they can do a 30-minute Iron Man match, build up to it at SummerSlam based off the finish of this match. Or they could do something else. I do see a couple different scenarios with how this match played out and how it ended. But I'm so happy AJ Styles got the win. We pretty much predicted he was going to get the win. Cena's probably going to get his win back at Battleground. But honestly, if WWE, I wish they would do something different. And what I would suggest, what I would do if I was booking this whole feud is at Battleground, I wouldn't do the immediate rematch. I would do Cena and New Day versus the club. That way you can start building towards two big SummerSlam matches. New Day versus Anderson and Gallows for the tag team championships. AJ and Cena in the rematch. It would be in Brooklyn. It would be, a much hotter crowd. I'm not saying the Vegas crowd sucked. The Vegas crowd was electric. But imagine in the Barclays Center, AJ Styles, John Cena, the rematch. Whether it's a 30-minute Iron Man match, 2 out of 3 falls, some kind of stipulation where the club can't get involved, or if they do, they'll be indefinitely suspended or fired. Maybe a steel cage match. I wouldn't say Hell in a Cell because it's not really a feud fitting of Hell in a Cell. Steel cage where it's just down to Cena and AJ. Who knows? But this dream match ultimately delivered. It was, in my opinion, match of the night. 4.25 stars. So happy for AJ. He had a hell of a showing against Cena. Cena did his thing. Big match John showed up. But on this night, big match John couldn't stop the phenomenal one. And it was like I said on Instagram and Facebook, I was banking on AJ to look phenomenal when he conquered the C Nation. And by hook or crook, AJ Styles beat John Cena. Next, we had the second of the triple main event, the Money in the Bank ladder match. And guys, this match had a lot to live. Well, I don't want to say a lot to live up to. Well, it had a lot to follow. I'll put it to you that way. Following Cena versus AJ. But this match was awesome. Like we expected, it delivered. Especially when you look at the 6 guys that are in this match. And luckily, I took notes because there was so much freaking action in this match. You had Cesaro hitting a senton onto Chris Jericho while Jericho had a ladder in his hands, and this was on the outside. So the ladder fell on top of Jericho. Sami Zayn hit his signature helo over the top rope and took down pretty much everybody but Jericho. Cesaro then unloaded the uppercut train on Ambrose, Jericho, and Del Rio, only to be derailed by Kevin Owens, who drilled him with a super kick. Then you had Kevin Owens just unleash cannonballs on Del Rio, Jericho, and Ambrose. And then Sami Zayn got back into the ring, and Sami Zayn hit an exploder suplex onto Kevin Owens. He suplexed Owens onto Jericho in the turnbuckle, and then delivered haluva kicks galore, including a double to Jericho and Owens. It was sick. And fittingly, AJ, Owens and Zayn started the match off. Well, all six men brawled with each other when the match began. So you had Jericho brawling with Ambrose, Del Rio with Cesaro, and fittingly, of course, Owens and Zayn, because they're destined to fight forever. Looking at my notes now, or looking at more of my notes, because like I said, so much action happened in this match, guys. If I didn't take notes, I'd be like, then I remember this. That's why I took notes. Notes came in handy this time. Next, so later on, we had Del Rio and Cesaro fighting on the top of the ladder, and Del Rio got Cesaro in the cross arm breaker. Kevin Owens broke that up with a super kick, and then Cesaro, because he was like facing the rope after getting out of the cross arm breaker, dove off the rope and hit a springboard European uppercut on Owens. He freaking looked like Superman doing it. It was awesome. Cesaro also hit Del Rio and Jericho with the big swing, but Jericho got the nastier end of that big swing because Cesaro only swung about 5 times, and the 6th time he threw him headfirst into this ladder that was lying in the corner. Zayn then hit this wicked Michinoku driver on Kevin Owens. I mean, he folded Kevin Owens up on the ladder. It was nasty. And then towards the end of the match, Del Rio set up. So there's a ladder set up in the middle. Just picture this. A ladder set up in the middle. Del Rio had a ladder, and he set it up to where it's like a walkway or a bridge. And then I can't remember if it was Jericho or Cesaro, but they did the exact same thing on the other side of the ladder. And then you had pretty much everybody climbing that ladder on the bottom to get to the ladder where they need to get to the top to reach the briefcase. Sami Zayn on multiple occasions came very close to reaching it. Ambrose kicked Cesaro and Del Rio off one ladder. Cesaro landed on his nuts on the top rope. Del Rio landed on his neck. And then Ambrose and Jericho duked it out. Owens prevented Zayn from getting the ladder or from getting the briefcase, and he powerbombed him on the other ladder that was serving as like a walkway or a bridge. Ambrose and Owens duked it out on the ladder, and at that point, with how everything was set up, I said to myself, okay, yeah, one of them is going to crash through that ladder. One of them's getting knocked off or backdropped or something, but they're going through the ladder. Ambrose knocked Owens off. Owens only like fell off the ladder, like bounced off him, but he didn't go through the ladder. And then Dean Ambrose retrieved the briefcase, and Dean Ambrose became your new Mr. Money in the Bank. I said that if Ambrose won Money in the Bank, I wouldn't have a problem with it as long as he cashed in successfully. And later on in the show, Ambrose would prove to be quite a deciding factor in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, which I'm going to get to right after this next match. But yeah, Money in the Bank, awesome match between these 6, 4.5 stars, second best match of the night. You know, like I said, the triple main event on this card delivered. If it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for those 3 matches, I'd probably give the show a lower rating. But this was pretty much a 3-match show when you look at it. Great showing from all 6 men. Ambrose is your new Mr. Money in the Bank. Second best match of the night, like I said. Awesome ladder match. I love how the one thing with Kevin Owens not winning that I don't have a problem with is that it continues the feud with him and Sami Zayn. They're destined to fight forever. And now I'm interested in seeing what happens at Battleground between these guys. You know, if Kevin Owens, I was rooting for Kevin Owens. He was my pick. But I have no problem with Ambrose. And I'll get to that in a little while. But yeah, had Owens won, I could have seen him and Zayn feuding over that briefcase for a while. That would have been awesome. But you know what? I have no problem with him losing because Ambrose won. And Ambrose ultimately got the last laugh at the end of the show. But yeah, guys, just a great ladder match. Awesome match. Happy that this match delivered big time. And happy for Dean Ambrose. After all he went through, He won Money in the Bank. He's your new Mr. Money in the Bank. And as you're going to find out in a little while, that briefcase came in handy. Next, we had Rusev versus Titus O'Neil for the United States Championship. This was another good, solid match. But, you know, there's not really much to talk about in this match. The two main things I remember were Titus countered the Accolade with a nice pump handle slam. And then he also hit like a, I don't want to call it a wheelbarrow spine buster, but he hit this sick, like, rolling redneck spine buster. Like, think the spine buster Booker T used to do. He hit that. I do like how Titus kept trying to take the fight to Rusev. Like, he threw him into the barricade. He went after him every time Rusev went to the outside. I do remember that the match started off literally with Rusev looking at, you know, Titus's real-life sons, TJ and Titus, who were sitting front row at ringside. And then they went charging at each other, Titus and Rusev, and they both hit each other with a double clothesline, just like they did on Monday Night Raw when it was Rusev and Jack Swagger. But in the end, Rusev cinched in the Accolade, and Titus didn't tap right away because I wanted to see Titus give a fighting effort. But in the end, Titus tapped out. Rusev retained the United States Championship. And then he walked over to Titus' sons and said, "You see that? You see your dad? He's a loser." Happy Father's Day, everybody. That was great. Great heel stuff from Rusev right there. Rusev remains United States Champion. We'll see who he feuds with next. You know, I like how Rusev's been regaining momentum since winning the United States Championship, since leaving the League of Nations, because I feel like he makes a great monster heel. Honestly, if there are no plans for Rusev to lose a championship anytime soon, let him be champion until Survivor Series or TLC. Because I want this reign to be stronger. He had a great United States Championship run from 2014 to 2015. You know, from October 2014 to WrestleMania 31 when he lost to Cena. I like this run to be better, and further establish him as a monster and help him regain the momentum that he lost following, you know, the 3 straight losses to Cena. So I'm happy Rusev's looking good and strong for now. And like I said, if there's no plans for him to lose the title, then keep the belt on him until Survivor Series or TLC. And finally, guys, we get to the main event. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Roman Reigns, the guy, the champ, defending against Seth Rollins. This was a great match, guys. You know, it started off slow, but then I feel like it picked up towards the end, and it got better. Even though I felt like it was dragging out a little bit. Overall, I thought this was a great match. Early on, I was really surprised with how Roman Reigns dominated Seth Rollins in the early goings of this match. Whether he was hitting him with that, you know, that 10 clothesline attack that multiple clothesline attack in the corner, or he was throwing Seth over the Spanish announce table, or was just manhandling him. I was surprised at how dominant Roman was early on in this match, because you would think Seth Rollins as the more agile competitor, you would think he'd use his speed and agility to outwork Roman. But after they got back into the ring following that Spanish announce table spot, Roman connected with that Razor's Edge powerbomb. So it's like he's going to do the Razor's Edge, and he throws Rollins up in the air and hits a sit-down powerbomb. Rollins kicked out, rebounded with an Insugiri, followed by a dive through the middle rope and a dive over the top rope. You know, Seth Rollins looked good for his, well, I don't want to say his first match back, because I found out he did a dark match with AJ against Roman and Cena on Raw last Monday. They did a dark match. So, but I mean, for my first time watching Rollins back in the ring since his injury, he looked good. Roman went for a Superman punch, which Seth countered with a kick to the gut. Seth went for a pedigree in turn, but Roman backdropped him. Seth landed on his feet, but took a Superman punch as a result. They duked it out some more, and then Seth was on the top turnbuckle. Roman followed him. It looked like Roman was going to go for a Super Samoan drop, but Seth managed to roll through and do a sunset flip. So if you guys remember the irony of this move, Rollins hit a sunset flip, tried to go for the sunset flip powerbomb, and that's how his knee buckled and tore up when he was wrestling Kane back in October and November when that incident happened. But Seth hit the sunset flip powerbomb. He hit the sunset flip, landed perfectly, buckle bomb onto Roman. Prior to that, Seth hit a frog splash. I believe how he did it was he hit the float over superplex, then the Falcon Arrow, then the Frog Splash, and then I think he went back to the turnbuckle. Roman followed him. Roman hit him with a punch with one of his thrust shots. Went for the Samoan drop. Roman or Seth countered with the Sunset Flip into the buckle bomb. Hit a second buckle bomb, but Roman managed to connect with a Superman punch. So that's sort of like Super Cena right there, but there's a Super Roman, obviously. Well, no, not really, because it was... Yeah, nah, maybe I'll take that back, because it was a nice sequence. A buckle bomb into a Superman punch. Roman went for a spear, but then Seth hit him with this wicked counter where he jumps up and then drills Roman face first like a pedigree. So it was like a modified impromptu pedigree or an improvised pedigree. And then Seth picks up Roman, hits him with a pedigree, and scores 1, 2, 3. And I was shocked, guys. Seth Rollins pinned Roman Reigns clean to become a 2-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I was shocked, but I was happy for Rollins because he reclaimed what was rightfully his, the title he never lost. Seth Rollins won the championship. And as that happened, I was thinking to myself, you know what? This seemed a little anticlimactic. And I started thinking, okay, where's Ambrose? Is he coming out? And what do you know? Seconds later, after Seth Rollins wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Dean Ambrose's music hits. And he starts looking at the entranceway. Ambrose isn't anywhere to be found. Ambrose comes from behind, like I predicted he was probably going to do that when I didn't see him come out. Like he's going to come from behind. Lays out Rollins with the briefcase, hands it to referee Mike Chioda. Mike Chioda announces to Lillian Garcia that Ambrose is cashing in. Lillian makes the official announcement. The bell rings. Ambrose picks up Rollins. Dirty Deeds. 1, 2, 3. Dean freaking Ambrose is your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So in the span of 1 hour, Dean Ambrose went from being Mr. Money in the Bank. He went from money to champion, to quote WAPW. He became Mr. Money in the Bank and then cashed that sucker in and became the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I couldn't have been more happier for Ambrose. He was very deserving of this after every other opportunity that he's had and has not won the big one, so to speak. After every other opportunity that WWE gave him with a title, you know, every title shot they gave him, and he never won. After all that, he finally became the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So think about it, guys. Seth Rollins, first pay-per-view match back, beats Roman Reigns clean to become WWE World Heavyweight Champion for a second time. Seconds later, Dean Ambrose lays Rollins out with the briefcase, cashes in Money in the Bank, hits Dirty Deeds. He becomes the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So 2 new champions crowned in 1 night. You know, I cannot think of another night. Well, no. Survivor Series most recently, when Roman beat Ambrose in the tournament finals to win the vacant championship, and then Sheamus cashed in. But this was a lot bigger than Sheamus cashing in. Ambrose was Money in the Bank, Mr. Money in the Bank for 1 hour, and he is now the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And, you know, the irony of this is what makes this awesome. The irony of this. At the last 2 Money in the Bank pay-per-views, Seth Rollins has gotten the upper hand. He's gotten the better of Dean Ambrose. Thanks to Kane in 2014, Rollins won the Money in the Bank ladder match, which resulted in him cashing in, of course, at WrestleMania and winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Last year, they had a ladder match, Rollins and Ambrose for the championship. And it was a close match. It was a great match. And in the end, Rollins walked away with the championship. At this year's Money in the Bank, Ambrose cashes in on Rollins after Rollins beats Roman Reigns for the championship, and Ambrose walks out the champion. Karma, I love you, Seth, but karma, in this case, was a real bitch. Because Ambrose, after the 2 years he feuded with Rollins, after all the shit Rollins put him through, after every time Rollins had his number, whether it was by himself or with the Authority, Ambrose got sweet, sweet revenge. Now, I don't know if this is going to make Ambrose a heel now, but I'm sensing that we're going to get the Shield triple threat at SummerSlam. And if you guys remember in my predictions video, I painted a perfect scenario for this. Tonight on Raw, have Roman and Seth stake their claim at a rematch, then do a #1 contenders match. Have Seth win, go on a Battleground. Seth and Ambrose have a rematch, make it no disqualification, no holds barred. I don't care. Keep their feud going, but have Roman come out. Well, actually, don't have it be a stipulation match, because the only way this is going to work is if it's a standard wrestling match for the championship. Have Roman come out, lay out Ambrose, lay out Rollins in frustration, lay out the referees, grab the championship, stake his claim in contention for the championship, and then the next night on Raw after Battleground, you set the stage for a Shield triple threat. But I'm happy that we're gonna rekindle the Rollins and Ambrose feud. I mean, this was the perfect way to do it. I honestly thought Ambrose was going to cash in during the match. I did not expect him to cash in after the match. That just made for an incredible ending, for an awesome ending. I mean, Seth wins clean. He's a 2-time champion. Ambrose comes out, jumps him from behind, cashes in. He wins the championship. And Roman Reigns, I was so freaking concerned he was going to get involved and screw Ambrose out of the win. But no, Roman sat there on his ass, being attended to, while Ambrose laid out Rollins and won the championship. I'm excited to see where this goes. Like I said, I think at Battleground we should do Rollins and Ambrose for the championship in a rematch, and then have Roman come out and in frustration, he just beats the hell out of everybody. Rollins, Ambrose, lays out referees, maybe lays out the announcers. I don't care, but that's a great way to turn Roman heel, and that's a great way to set the stage for the Shield triple threat. So with that said, guys, I'm going to give Money in the Bank 2016 on the strength of the triple main event and the ending with Dean Ambrose cashing in and becoming champion. I'm going to give this show a 6.5 out of 10. It was an alright show. I did enjoy the Tag Team Championship match. That was a good, fun opener. The rest of the undercard wasn't as good, even if Apollo and Sheamus and Rusev and Titus were good matches. Like, in my opinion, the undercard just didn't excite me or didn't get me invested, if you know what I'm saying. It was the triple main event that really did it. This was really a 3-match show. If this show only had those 3 matches, I give this freaking show like 8.5 or something. But, you know, it is an alright show. It's not a horrible show, but I didn't enjoy it as much as other people may have enjoyed it. But like I said, what saved this show from getting like a lower score for me, the triple main event and Dean Ambrose becoming the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So that is it, guys, for my review of Money in the Bank 2016. Share your comments down below. Let me know what you think what you thought of the show. Let me know what you think about Battleground coming up with Ambrose as champion, Rollins as the former champion, where Roman Reigns may play a role in this. What do you see happening with Cena and AJ Styles? Although we can pretty much predict they're gonna have a rematch at Battleground and Cena's gonna get his win back. But yeah, guys, as always, like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends. I think I might have gone on a little longer than expected, but as always, guys, thanks for watching and listening. Survivor One Kenobi signing off. Have a good day. Enjoy Monday Night Raw. I'll catch you all later.